Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the best Reddit answers being read to you. Enjoy! When you were a kid, what was a sign that a kid you knew came from a family that had money? They had fancy vacations or even several vacations each year. I hated first days of school when the teachers would ask everyone what they did over the summer, and you have effing Paige over there who went to Europe, and Connor who went all around the United States, and the most I did was maybe get froyo if I was lucky. Yeah, like everyone's just like I went to the Bahamas, oh same. Yeah, I went to Greece, and then the teachers like, what did you do? And I was like, I played video games all Elena Sam. Would miss weeks of school because they were always on vacations. There was a girl in my uni class who was the sister of a supermodel. She was barely ever there because she was usually visiting Tokyo or something with her sister. She was nice though. Well yeah, cause she has to grow up being called the supermodel's sister, haha. My friend would give me more money for lunch than my parents. Holy crap, this is so real. My family didn't have too much growing up, and I had just transferred out of a public school and got a partial scholarship to go to a private middle school/high school. My parents thought lunch prices were going to be the same, so I received $5 a week for food. We didn't have money, so I never wanted to tell my parents that $5 a week wasn't enough, so I just waited until the end of the school day so that I could walk to McDonald's for a $1 McChicken or McDouble, because school lunches were $5 minimum for a mini plate. I had two friends help me throughout my rough financial time in high school. They saw that I would never eat at school and basically fed me without pitying me. One friend would order more than he could eat and would always ask me if I could do him the favor of finishing his food so it doesn't go to waste. The other friend would do things like, hey, I'll bet you lunch you can't do this, and it'd be something simple like, you have 3 shots to shoot this paper ball into the trash can, or race to drink this water bottle first, or even just he'll buy you lunch if you walk to the cafeteria with me. I didn't really realize too much when I was younger, and I thought they were just rich and were careless with their money. It turns out, they took notice to the fact that I didn't eat at school. They told me in college that they always saw me with nothing at lunch, and when we hung out after school, I would only buy the one McChicken/McDouble, and I would still be asking friends for the 10 cents I needed for tax. These were the first friends I've made before I even knew the true value of money, and they're still 2 of my best friends to this day. When she told me her family was down to earth because they only had the housekeeper come once a week, I look back and pray I never said anything like that out loud. The boundaries of our congregation covered a weird mix of neighborhoods, so we went to church with richer people than us but no one poorer than us. I grew up with Sunday school teachers who owned cabins and boats and pools. I thought my family was poorer because we lived in a blue Suburban instead of a McMansion. I thought we were poor because we went to Disneyland, California, and not Disney World in Florida. I had never been scuba diving, and some of my friends had, and we only took one vacation, but Emily almost had to repeat the grade because she missed so many days. I thought the reason we had nice things was because my mom and dad only had 3 kids and not 4 or 5 like their friends all did. Which is kind of true, but also if those families had 2 kids like most people and not big Mormon families, they'd have crazy money to burn. So yeah. I cringe at myself. I wish my parents had spent a little more time saying how good we had it and less time saying how good our richer friends had it. As a young kid, it was their clothes, lunches, and general appearance. They kind of stood out from us legions of poorer kids at the school. We ate the hot lunch at a reduced or free rate. They brought in neat sandwiches, individual bags of chips, High C, and Little Debbie or Hostess desserts. There was a girl in my elementary school I don't think I ever saw wear the same outfit twice, and they were nice clothes, not hand-me-downs from mom, which put our yard sale and homemade clothes to shame. I'm relatively well off, considered rich in my area of the country, and I would be happy to dress my kids in hand-me-downs and yard sale finds. No shame in that. Shame on those who would try to shame you. Better to save dollar to ensure the kids get a great education while lobbying G to open education to all with an equal opportunity. When they were able to use the internet on their flip phone without freaking out cause you accidentally pushed the internet button. Oh, the panic of the internet button, when you scramble to hit the back button 10 times until you just power off the phone and pray that you did it in time. You'll have to spend another 5 minutes typing out the text again on the 10 key, but it is worth it to avoid the wrath of the parents when they get the cell bill. Good times. There were different queues for levels of wealth. I thought I was pretty well off as I could ask for and get the big box of Crayola crayons with a sharpener, and my shoes were bought new. When I got a scholarship to a prep school, I learned that wealthier families traveled during school breaks. The most ridiculously wealthy kids got brand new cars for passing their driving test. The cars were replaced once damaged. Those cars always got damaged too. There's one town near me where all the rich kids come from, and they all have a story about totaling their brand new car right after getting their license. This is a really specific example, but I was in 5th grade and all the 5th grade classes were competing for a pizza party. The class that donated the most money to this glass jar each classroom had would get the pizza party. As an adult, I understand how weird and sketchy that sounds, having elementary kids donate money to their public school, but it's been a couple of decades now and I didn't question it, considering how often we had to do fundraising and go sell stuff to neighbors and extended network. It was the last day and my class was in 2nd place. This one kid asked how far behind we were and the teacher said something like $15 as of the beginning of the day. This kid pulled out his checkbook and wrote a check for $50 to go in the jar just to cover all bases regarding the other class. I mean, for $50 that kid could have just thrown us a pizza party, but in 5th grade it seemed pretty cool. They had a Sega and a Nintendo, they had a mom and a dad. They had their own room. I was in a single child home. They went on all the field trips, not just the free ones. Their bike was the right size for them now, not 2 years ago my bike was usually sized for me in 2 years' time. They had Lunchables in addition to a normal lunch. Sometimes I would get Lunchables as my lunch, but only once in a while and when they were on sale. I definitely didn't get anything else along with them. I got 3 Lunchables a year. I got one each on the first day of school, my birthday, and last day of school. Fridge with ice on the door and a dishwasher. The fridge one is one of mine too. Bonus points if they could get ice cubes and crushed ice at the push of a button. My poor butt could only have ice if I had the foresight to put water in an ice cube tray 4 to 5 hours before I wanted it. So basically never. What? Why don't you always have ice on your freezer? He bought everyone snacks all the time and never asked that they pay him back. I swear the kid spent about $500 a year on us in colas. When I taught at a private school I had a student like that. I swear he had a crisp new $20 bill every day to buy chips and candy and whatnot for his friends at lunch. He was also picked up by his 16-year-old sister in her hybrid vehicle. I was picked up by my 16-year brother in a F-150 that was filled with empty Gatorade bottles. They weren't wearing 4-stripe Adidas. On 5th grade. I remember the palest 4-stripe Adidas. I was so self-conscious and wanted to fit in so badly that I pulled the stitches from the 4th stripe and cut it off. One of the cool kids called me out in class and all the other kids laughed at me. Good times. Matching furniture sets. Our house was decorated in functional secondhand. My parents too were students of that school of design. They would have discussions about furniture like, well, I think the green couch will work well because we don't have a fricking choice. And my mom would say, well okay, but then we need to augment the feng shui by getting a table that the neighbors give us for free because we don't have a effing choice. They were passionate about interior design. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.